Hi, thanks for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Today we're going to be talking about Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Córdova. I'm joined once again by my beloved son. He's hanging out in his crib over here, so just gotta keep a nice eye on him. This is a Latinx story published by Sourcebooks Fire. It is the first in the Brooklyn Brujas series. It's a Latinx fantasy. And if you are Latino, I think you will appreciate this novel very much because I'm Mexican and I know I did. I loved the lore, I loved I loved how I was able to feel like it was Mexican. I think that's very strong on Cordova's writing. She was able to connect it with Hispanic and Latino culture. And I think that's very, very important because if you're able to connect to the story and if you're able to connect to the message of the story, you're going to enjoy it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. I thought it was a very much sort of like a Latin spin on Alice in Wonderland, and I'll get to why in just a second. But the core of the story follows Alex. It's following Alex as she goes through a portal into Los Lagos, and the core of the story is accepting one's culture and finding your true self, which I think is very important in today's day and age. I think there's a lot of hatred and bigotry in the world that sort of makes people afraid to accept their culture on some level, and I don't think that's right. I think no one should be made to feel afraid of accepting their culture, and Alex is afraid, not because of what anyone else did, but because of her power. She had her power at a young age, and when she came into that power, her father was the witness to it, and he vanished, he left. And Alex does blame herself for her father's vanishing act, and so she just hates her power. She hates everything about being a bruja. She doesn't want to be a bruja. She wants to be normal, and I think normal is vastly overrated. And the whole story is her journey into accepting her culture, into accepting her heritage, into accepting her power and her true self. And it's a really fun journey for her to go through because there's so much character development that goes through the novel. So I'm just checking out my son. There's so much character development for Alex as she embarks on this journey. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me, considering my mic was down there, but I guess we'll see. It's a really good journey for her to go on because it allows her to come to terms with, her father's disappearance. It allows her to come to terms with her power. It allows her to accept her culture because by rejecting her culture, rejecting her power, she was alienating herself. She was alienating a core part of herself, and in doing so, alienating her family. The story is about family love. It's not just about, accepting your culture, your heritage, and finding your true self. It's also about family love, because her family loves her. But in all of her desperation, she cast a canto, which is a spell, to banish her powers, unwittingly banishing her family to Los Lagos. There's the symbolism, you're trying to cut off a part of yourself, but in doing so, you're going to cut off your family. And my son is holding up his hands like, preach. And I thought it was very important that she go on this journey, because now she has to go save her family from an evil witch who would otherwise, you okay, little man? Here, give me one. Sorry, I had to go give my son his pacifier and his blankie and a toy. But like I was saying, it's important for Alex to go on this journey, because on this journey in Los Lagos, she comes to terms with her power, and she comes to terms with accepting her heritage, because it wasn't just her immediate family. At her death day, they call upon the ancestors to give her blessings for her power so she can use her power safely. She banished generations, hundreds of generations worth of family to Los Lagos, where they were able to be captured by the Devourer, an evil bruja who wants Alex's power, so she's using them as a trap to sort of get Alex. But she has to save her family from Los Lagos. And for her to go on this journey, it takes a lot of strength on her part to come to terms with her mistakes, to come to terms with her past, to let go of that guilt she has, because she thinks she's the reason her father left. She thinks, her father left because of all of the power that she had. And it's a lot for her to go on this journey. It means a lot for her. And her character development, through her narrative, through the actions, you get to see her come to terms with her culture, to accept it, to make it a part of herself, a part of who she is. She finally comes to terms with accepting it and being one with it, with this immense power she has. And because of that, it's a good story. And all the other characters, because there are three of them. There's Alex, Nova, and Rishi, who sort of get sucked in by mistake. Nova is her guide in Los Lagos, and they are just, the dynamics between them are very fresh. There's no love triangle, thank goodness, because that's an incredibly cliche tactic. But, there is some unexpected romance in the novel, and it's really well developed. It develops steadily and slowly, but the reader can see the fringes of it from the very beginning of the story, which I think is really impactful for the LGBTQ community. And that's what I personally loved about the story. Not only is it incredibly diverse, it has so much representation to it. You're highlighting the Latin American community, and you're also highlighting the LGBTQ community, and both of those together make it a really good, impactful story, because through all of that, the characters are able to develop, their dynamics are able to feel fresh, and it's without cliches. Thank goodness. No love triangles either, thank goodness. And Alex, she ends up saving herself when she saves her family, and that's really important. No one comes in to the rescue. She has to step up and save herself. She has to step up and save her family, and she has to accept everything around her. As for, I've talked enough about the characters. I think they're great characters. I think there's a lot of diversity in the novel to make the story incredibly captivating. But what's also really good about the story is the pacing. It really moves very fluidly. It really draws the reader in. There's a sense of uneasiness at some parts where you're like, something doesn't feel right. Something is a little fishy. And like I said, it is very much reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland, because there are a lot of allusions to it. Alex has to go through the portal, which is a hole in the ground, and then she has to go on this adventure in this wonderfully mystical land, where she has to face off against the devourer, who likes to call herself the queen of the land. Basically, she inspires fear in everyone. Who does that remind everyone of? There was even a tea party. When I saw that tea party, I was in love with this novel because it was so great. It was such a great scene. The description, the, word choice, her ability to build the scene. It's like a painting in your head when you read it. It really is a work of art because the language is there, the scene structure is there. And her word choicing is very concise, but it breathes so much life into the scene. I mean, it's her word choice, like her color choices with the words, the way how her vivivity, if that's even a word. Look at me, I'm a reader, I'm a writer, I know words, right? Everything is so vivid. It comes to life in your mind's eye. And I think that's really important. If an image can come to if an image comes to your mind to the point where you can imagine it as a painting, I think that's really a powerful writing because it shows just how good Córdova is as a writer. And I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So once again, Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Córdova. It's a great story. It's incredibly diverse, has lots of representation to it, and it's a great adventure. There's so much fantasy in this story, and so much connection to Latinx culture that I think it's definitely a one-of-a-kind novel. I really haven't read anything like this before, so it really is fresh. It's very unique, and it has a wonderful pacing. So, highly recommend it to all of you. Please go ahead and check it out. And, please remember to that's my son. He wants to pet my cat who's on the windowsill. Please remember to support your local bookstore. I know everyone's instinct is to just go on Amazon, get the book. Please, during this time of, crisis, please support your local bookseller. Whether it's Barnes & Noble or, the small mom and pop indie bookstore, that's down the street. Please remember to support your local bookstore. I know finances are tough. They're certainly tough for me right now. I don't currently have a job, unfortunately. So I'm pretty sure you can get, this book through your local library if you have a library card. A lot of libraries allow you to get digital cards with just your email. You don't have to go there or anything because I know a lot of them are closed, but you should be able to get a digital card. And you just sign up. And you can, rent out the book as an ebook or an audiobook. If you have a Scribd membership, I know this book is available on Scribd as an audiobook, but you can also get it as an ebook, I'm pretty sure. So lots of options. Scribd, I'm pretty sure Scribd has a $9.99 membership a month. So Scribd, your local library, and your local bookstore if it's still open. But I know finances are tough, so please try your local library and then go up from there. And please support this book, Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Córdova. Happy reading, and remember to stay safe and stay healthy and stay indoors.